What's up, guys? Kimmis here from Meanwhile in the Man Cave. We take a look at all things pop culture, games, toys, or anything we think is cool. And today, we are taking a look at the Marvel Select Thanos from the Infinity Gauntlet. Thanos first appeared in 1973 in Invincible Iron Man number 55 and was created by Jim Starlin, who came up with the character in psychology class when studying Sigmund Freud's concept of Thanatos. Roy Thomas approached Starlin to do an issue of Iron Man, and Starlin, believing he would only get this one chance to bring his character to life, decided to drop him into that issue. Thanos was born after a conflict tore the Society of Eternals apart. The Eternals were beings created by super powerful creatures called the Celestials, and were designed not to be able to propagate naturally on their own. The Eternal, known as Alars, challenged the status quo and started his own community on the moon of Saturn, Titan, where he met the woman that would eventually become the mother of the Mad Titan Thanos. Through science and technology, Alars overcame the Celestials' biological directive, and they achieved their first pregnancy. This first attempt at natural birth was both painful and traumatic experience for his wife. And Thanos' horribly disfigured appearance drove his wife mad, and she attempted to kill him, claiming he would bring nothing but death. A bit of foreshadowing considering he would eventually be responsible for her demise. Thanos started life as a pacifist, but due to the deceptions of Lady Death in disguise, she led him down a path of death and destruction. A path that would make him a scourge of the Marvel Universe. All right, let's start off taking a look at the box. Same thing on all these Marvel Select figures. Got the plastic packaging with a preview of the character of Thanos and the abstract entity Death. Little Thanos artwork on the side, and a description of the character and a couple other figures in the line on the back. Well, let's stop wasting time on this box and bust Thanos out. Brief preview of what you're going to get in the package here. You get Thanos himself. You get the personification of Death with the alternate face portrait, and an extra Gauntlet with the Infinity Stones. So, let's get a closer look. Alright, starting off at looking at Lady Death here. The shading on the cloak and everything's pretty cool. It's just more of a statue than anything though, non-articulated. And it doesn't have a hand over here on this one side. It's kind of a weird design choice, but I guess you probably wouldn't notice it if it's sitting on a shelf, but kind of weird that they didn't at least put a hand on that one side. And the alternate portrait. Should be able to snap right in under the cloak. And the Infinity Gauntlet itself. Kind of open palmed. And here he is, the Mad Titan himself, Thanos. In all his Jim Starlin style glory. Prominent chin. Good color choices. Now, starting off looking at his articulation here, you've got just more of a left and right motion with his head. You do have the lateral movement with his shoulders. And you do have a joint between the shoulder and the bicep. We'll give you some angling there. It's important for that, I think, on most of these figures. I'm glad he has it. This whole shoulder joint, too, seems to move pretty freely, which I like. We do have a single elbow joint here, and without a tremendous range of motion there. There's not a lot of room between like the Gauntlet and his bicep, so not a huge range of motion there, but again, I can't see anybody needing to put Thanos in any sort of Spider-Man poses. And you don't have any sort of hinge here at the fist, so you can't really angle the fist at all, but you can angle the entire gauntlet. No abdomen joint at all. Do have a waist joint. At the legs, lateral movement, forward, back. This is flexible material here, so it does give you kind of a range of motion there. You know, it'll let you push a little bit on that to get more range. There also is an angling up here at the joint underneath, so you can angle that foot out, which is going to be kind of important if you want to get him in a good stance. And you have the single knee joint. Odd enough, they don't have any sort of joint here at the boot. It would have been really easy for them to put a boot joint in there, you know, like a swivel, but they did not. You can angle the foot a little bit down here at the hinge. Again, not very much. So let's see how all this articulation comes into play when we pose him. So here we go. Got him in one of the poses from the classic #4 comic book. That was pretty fun. I do wish they'd given him an abdomen joint. It would have been a little better for posing on there, and also made it so we could have angled his head up and down more. Would have given us more of a variety of poses with that. The other thing I wish they had done, they gave us this Lady Death portrait. It kind of sucks. Doesn't go in there. That doesn't look that good when it's on the figure itself. I would have rather had them give us an extra portrait for Thanos himself, him sneering or grinning. It would have been nice to have that extra head on him. But other than that, I do like the comic accurate look for this figure. It's nice to have that rather than all the MCU style Thanoses that are kind of floating around out there. So overall, I think if you're a big Infinity Gauntlet comic fan or a fan of Thanos, this is a good figure to pick up. This was kind of a pose I wanted to get, kind of a fantasy multiverse pose, him fighting Superman. Kind of cool. But anyway, I gotta say, it's worth picking up, especially for the money. So I want to thank you guys all for tuning in, and please come back every Tuesday at 9 a.m. for a brand new episode of Meanwhile in the Man Cave. I'll talk to you guys later.